Hello farmers, welcome back to No Man's Land, harvesting some oats in, I think this is the biggest field that we have. Got a couple of the fields done since last episode. Well, actually only one of the fields, that was over there. Harvested the rest of the barley, brought that over to milling it over, and now we're harvesting the rest of this oat field that we got left. It hasn't taken me as long as it has before with the Rosla mash, but of course we got a bigger header, that's why we're getting through this a little bit quicker. With the Rosla mash to harvest all these 4 fields I've harvested so far, it took me a little bit over 3 hours. And currently on the hour marker on our new combine harvester, we're at 1.6 hours. And we are just about done here. Milling it over has been making a lot of flour. A lot of flour. Because not only are we making flour with barley, now we're making with oats. So I think currently I got like maybe 7,000 liters of flour already at Bread Pit. And Bread Pit is making some bread, so when the winter comes we should have a whole lot to sell for bread, just a whole bunch of it, hopefully. We do have another oat field still to harvest. I'm not sure I'm going to get to it today. I may harvest that field in the month of August. We got one more month to harvest some oats, so not really much of a rush to get to it today. I got other things planned for today, and if I decide to make it the thumbnail, then you probably already know what it is. But we do have some rain coming here very shortly. Well, I mean very shortly. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I think it's scheduled for. So we'll see if that happens or not. But I want to get this field done, and then we'll get to probably what the thumbnail is going to be. But if you didn't see the thumbnail, and if I decide not to make the thumbnail, I don't want to ruin it as of yet. But you'll see here in probably like 5 minutes or so. But then, then we got to get the plow out. Get all these fields over here plowed. Then we got to pick up the rocks and rinse, lather, repeat with the field. Basically, just get it prepped, ready for seeding whatever crops we decide to put in. I'm thinking maybe one more trip over to milling it over with these oats. And then we'll come back and get to the project at hand today, which I'm excited for. Because it's something I've been talking about for a while. And the good thing is, we don't need as much cash as originally as I thought we were going to need. And hopefully I got the place for it as well. But this combine has been doing wonders. Well, I don't want to say it's zipping through the fields, but definitely faster than the Rosla mash was. But bringing all that grain over to milling over and making the flour, it's just good to see that all the production buildings are back up and running. I may turn the sawmill back on soon as well, because we're getting not extremely low on the furniture shop on having planks over there, but I don't want to forget about not having planks there and then the furniture shop shutting off. So I'm making that turned on today as well. All depends on how much money I burn through here doing the next project in the next couple of minutes. So one more pass, and yes, only one more trip down to milling it over for this field, because the trailer is empty, so no problem getting all this in there. And just like that, this field is done. So I would say about half the time it took me to harvest these fields as it did previously, so that definitely helps out big time. And also not having the extra leasing fees for going over the hour with the Rosla mash helps out as well. But we got one more field still to harvest, but like I said, I might do that in the month of August. All depends on how the weather actually goes today. So I mean, I could get it done today and free up a lot of time to get other stuff done in the month of August. The good news is I got enough grain and milling it over to go ahead and produce flour for the next month. So it's not like I need to go down there and keep producing it. Plus, as we know, Bread Pit does not really keep up with the milling it over and taking the flour and making some bread. Let me go ahead and actually fold up the combine, because it's going to rain today, so we don't want no rain getting in our combine. Now let's turn that off. Kind of filthy. Not gonna lie, it got really, really dirty. But that's okay, we do have a pressure washer to take care of that situation. Alright, let's jump into our T6. And we're going to take just a little bit of a shortcut because the road does come out around this bend, I do believe. And go dump these oats into milling it over, and then come back and get to the exciting part of the episode. At least I hope it is for everyone. I know it's going to be for me, because we're going to be adding to the farm. Yeah, made this road just wide enough. If you want to call it a road, it's a path, but it's wide enough. It gets us where we need to be going. Going to try to stick to the quote-unquote paths, roads, now that we got them, instead of just driving around everywhere. Kind of interesting. I don't know why, but I decided to look into the building, the production building of Bread Pit. Must be a mom and pop kind of a store, because there is basically most of it's a house and the little part of it's a bakery. If you look through the windows on the right hand side, you'll see a bedroom and a kitchen, and the upstairs might be a second bedroom. Too bad we don't actually see people inside the restaurant. So this oat field down here is the next field that we have to harvest, and the only field we got left to harvest, not including the grass field. But that field is not as big as I originally thought it was when I was plowing it in. I mean, it's not that bad in size either, but so it shouldn't take us too long to harvest that field. Bring the combine on down. So I'll show you the kind of the totals that we got so far in our production buildings while this is unloading. So if we go on down to here, so let's start with the furniture shop. Yeah, the planks. Actually, I still got 26,000 liters of planks, so it's getting low, but it's not that low. I've actually thought about maybe switching over to production from tomatoes to something else, but you know what? It doesn't really. I don't want to say it doesn't really matter too much. Let's see, sawmill. We got a good amount of wood there. 40,000 liters of wood ready to be turned on and start making the planks. If we come on down here to milling it over, you can see currently we got 64,000 liters of oats and 23,000 liters of barley. And currently we only, well, I don't say currently we only have 5,000 liters of flour in storage. At the top of the hour, that will get distributed on down to Bread Pit. And currently we got 8,000 liters of bread being stored, but we do have 9,000 liters of flour. And for every 2 liters, we get 1 liter of bread. So everything is looking really, really good here. We'll have plenty of flour, plenty of bread, especially when December comes. Oh, I said I was going to stick to the roads, no taking shortcuts. All right, so now it's time to go back to the farm and get to the fun task at hand for today. And we're going to be spending some cash. Obviously, if you're putting down something, you got to spend some cash. And I hope it looks as good as I think it's going to look where I want to place it. I probably should have tried it before I start recording, but I figured, you know what fun is it if I don't do it with you and we find out together how well it looks and where we're going to put it down. Alright, so for what we're about to do, I'm going to need a couple of things. I'm not going to hook them up just yet, but I will have to ditch the trailer for now. And you know what, might as well leave the T6 right here. Let's come running on over to the grass field. Actually, we're going to go on the other side of the grass field. So, what we're going to be doing, and let's be honest, I probably already have it as a thumbnail, so you probably already know, is we're going to be putting down a sheep pasture. But I'm not going to go ahead and put it down where I said I wanted to, because the one we're putting down is not the one I was looking at. So, we're going to come over here. And I did a quick test on Elm Creek because I didn't know which way it faced. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So we're going to go in here into construction, and we got to go to animals and go to sheep. So this is a mod by Elk Mountain Modding. I've used their mods before, mainly like the ranch. You probably saw it in Griffin, Indiana. Maybe my other playlist in 19. But this is an open pasture sheep. Oh, we can't really call it a pen, but it costs $9,000 to put it down, and it does hold 100 sheep. So if we were looking at this one here, which only holds 65, which is a large pen, and it costs $97,000. So we're going to go with this one here, And I want to keep it just a little bit further away from the field because it's going to terraform a little bit around here. So $10,000, let's put it down. Boom. We have it. I will have to do some landscaping later on, but I got some trees to cut on down. How bad does it look here? Well, I could lose a little bit of the field there. Not too bad. We'll take care of it once I get a little bit more cash. And probably terraform this a little bit as well. So that does leave me 12 grand, which is fine. Let's come over here, and we're going to get some sheep right away. I've heard so many different stories about the sheep, about what, I don't want to say what type of sheep produces more wool, and I just did a quick search, and no one really said this one produces more wool than someone, a different one. So I think what we're going to do, like we did in Elm Creek, we're going to get just 2 of each, and we're going to get some young ones here. So it's only 460 for 2 of those. Let's go ahead and buy 2 of them. And we're buying the young ones. And 2 of those. And then 2 of those. And then 2 of those. There we go. So we're at 8. And it's going to take a while for them to get mature enough to reproduce. And also, they should start producing wool soon, but they're not going to produce as much as once they get like 2 years old. That's when they really start producing, and this is what I was kind of hoping for. The sheep do actually go up the hill quite a ways, and it doesn't terraform all the ground up here. So they're just going to roam around up here, eat some grass, but we actually do have to give them some grass and some water as well. So I'll have to cut down some trees around here, and we'll have to smooth out the terrain around here a little bit. I don't want to do it now just because the cash is just a little bit on the low side. I don't want to get crazy on the cash. So let's go ahead and get them some water first of all. So this will start the wool production, which will eventually lead over to the spinnery, which we can make fabric, which then gets over to clothes. And yeah, a couple of people have asked, well, wouldn't making cotton be a better path? Yeah, probably is, but the cost up front, really to get that process up and going, yeah, it's going to cost quite a bit. I just took a quick look at the Case cotton harvester to lease it, and at the time it had like $20,000, and it says I can't lease it because I don't have the cash. So just to lease the cotton module harvester, the base cost is going to be over 20 grand. That's all I know. I don't know exactly how much it is. And then, of course, if I were to do a big field and it's going to take me a while to harvest, who knows how much the hourly rate's going to be over that. Would I make money on a big cotton field? I'm pretty sure I would, so that's not that big of a concern. But we're going with the sheep way first because I like taking care of animals on a farm. It gives us something more to do right away. So that's what we're going to do and get the process up and going. And eventually when the pasture gets full, we can start selling some of our animals. I know I got water in the tanker, but I figured I'd come over here and just top it off. Let's see, gotta go ahead and make sure I open that up first. And then get ourselves some water. It's only 8 sheep, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to take too much. And then we are going to grab the coon mower and the forage wagon. And we'll get them some grass. Our grass field is not ready to be mowed yet, but there's plenty of grass around here, so it's not that big of a deal. I probably should make a road from our cabin out to the water tank as well. But I'll leave the link in the description below to Elk Mountain Modding. They got actually 2 mod packs for Farming Simulator 22. They got a lot of mods for 19. So if you're playing on 19, you can go there and get some mods as well. The same cabin that I used in 19 is available here in 22. It does cost $150,000 for the house, so that's out of our price range. But that's all fair and good for now. That'll probably be our house of choice in the distant future. And then Frank can go ahead and shack up in this cabin right here if he wants to. Although it'd be hard to put Frank Jr., Francine, and Mrs. Frank in there, but let them figure it out. Yeah, definitely got to terraform around here a a little bit better, because it's going to be really bumpy getting up here, I think, unless I go this way here. Alright, so how much water do eight sheep require? Alright, not that much. Alright, can we go down here and not get stuck? Well, it's a little bit of a dip, but we're okay. You know what? Since we got the water tanker hooked up, let's go ahead and dump the rest of the water into the greenhouse. Now, as they were in Elm Creek, I don't expect too much wool anytime soon. So we got plenty of time before we put down the other production buildings. How much do clothes, I know I probably looked at this before, but how much are clothes? I never got to sell clothes at Elm Creek, but clothes go for, wow. Okay. They go for pretty good cash. Even the fabric goes pretty well. But I think I'm going to need like $150,000 for the fabric shop and the tailor shop combined. So overall, you know, it's not too bad. All right, let's detach the hoses, get rid of the water tank for now. Nope, don't back into the water tank. At first I thought about holding off on the pasture, but it's like, you know what, we got plenty of grass. And the sooner we get the sheep up and going, the sooner they start getting older and start producing some wool. Right now, if I lift up the pallet forks, I should be able to get the mower on still. Oh, not close enough yet. And hoses, PTO shaft, we are good to go. Let's go ahead and raise that up. And be careful backing out of here. Now the good thing about the mod pack that I just downloaded from Elk Mountain Modding is they got a shed. I do believe I used that shed in my playthrough on No Man's Land in 19 as well. And it's not that expensive. Let's see, where do I want to get this grass from? We don't need a whole bunch of grass. So let's just go ahead and get the grass. Like right along here. Be good. And also turn on the forage wagon because that's the whole point. So next time we cut the grass, definitely got to go ahead and possibly make some hay, because that's the way I'd rather do it. But for today, they're getting just pure grass. Or every time I cut the grass field, you'll just get a whole bunch of grass. Don't know how long it'll last them for. So we got 8 sheep. I'm guessing 1,000 liters per sheep. I don't know, so let's get 8,000 liters, which is perfect. That's what we got. So let's go ahead and see how much of this they take. Hopefully not all of it, but if they do, not that big of a deal. Like I said, we got plenty of grass everywhere, but in the future, definitely want to be taking it from our grass field. The thing about a grass is you can drive right over it and we won't destroy it. Yeah, kind of a snug area when you don't have it terraformed correctly, but let's see if they come running down to get the feed. Oh, a couple of them are standing up. And, well, one of them's running down. So yeah, they didn't take that much feed at all, which is fine by me. Yeah, coming on down and taking the feed right out of the trough. So they didn't even take barely even 3,000 liters of grass. Alright, so we'll have some extra grass for a while to feed them if need be. So before, I was going to put the sheep pen in here and the cow barn across from it, but since we got an open pasture, yeah, that's where they're going to go. So there are plenty of mods from Elk Mountain Modding. If I come on down here, let's see here, buildings, farmhouses. You got the Elk Mountain farmhouse, which is right here. That's the way it kind of looks right now. Let's see, what else do they have in that pack here? That's productions. They do have a greenhouse. So kind of like an outside, inside type of greenhouse for 7,000. He does have a generator in the pack as well, which is a windmill. Factory, selling point, buildings. As for sheds, he's got a few sheds here. He has a small garage. I think I used the small garage on the Pacific Northwest in 19. He does have storage for hay. How much does that cost? Yeah, I don't have enough cash. This is a shed I'm probably going to go ahead and put down here in the future. $12,000 for it, so it's not that bad at all. You got a bigger shed, which is right here. And, of course, you got a small little shed right there. Let's see, animals. So he does have an open cow area. And you can see right there, it kind of shows you the area for that cow. It's 250 cows. I mean, it's basically the size, almost the size of our grass field. So that's pretty darn big. He also has a closed one that holds 150 cows. I do like the looks of that one there. So I may go ahead and actually use that one instead of this one right here. Oh, that only holds 80 cows? I thought this one held more with a feeding robot. Alright, so he has that one there. And does he have one for horses? Yes, I think this is the one that was in 19 as well. So he does have a horse barn, if you prefer to go with some horses. Does he have one for pigs? No, he does not. The sheep we looked at, he does have a chicken one. 6,000 to put down chickens, holds 30 chickens. And I'm trying to think, does he have any decoration? Oh, wait, he does actually have a lot of decorations. He's got a little bit of a small yard light right there. But if we go to other, he's got plenty to show off, like a gate to go on into Elk Mountain Ranch. I don't think you can change the lettering at the top to your own name if you like. He's got an outhouse. He's got a Elk Mountain Ranch brand sign there. A cattle guard. Stone pathways. Single stone. Cobblestone or rock slab. Nice little decoration right there as well. So yeah, a lot of interesting things that he has. Oh, it shows a tree in the picture, but no tree there. Yep, even a small bridge to go over some areas if need be. So a lot of good things. Like I said, I'll leave the link to his Facebook page below, and you can check out his mods for 22 and 19. I didn't check to see if he goes back as far as 17, but there you have it. Anyways, with that being done, now we got 8 sheep roaming around. They'll produce a little bit of wool, but they don't really start producing a lot of wool until they get to be about 2 years old or so. And they won't start reproducing until they get to be 1 year old, somewhere in that general vicinity. Oh, it's going to be messy out here today because I'm just leaving everything outside. And detach that. I said... Oh, so it was detached. Alright, looks like it was still attached. Let's go ahead and lower the mower down. Hard to tell if I'm on the mower or not. There it goes. Alright. And detach that. And now what I need to do is going to back on up. Very slowly. That might be close enough. Yeah, I am close enough, but let's get this a little bit closer. Let's raise up the plow. So when we save up a little bit more cash, we'll go ahead and get ourselves a shed so I can start putting the smaller implements around and kind of give myself a little bit more room in the big shed, because I got the combine harvester to put away and I do need the room for in there. Alright, so now I can put that down. Not too far down. We don't want those digging into the ground. Alright, and now we can lower our subsoiler slash plow. And there we go. So I was pleasantly surprised. I've been keeping my eye on the elk modding, I would say Elk Mountain Modding Facebook page for a little bit, and I finally said, okay, we're probably at the stage of doing stuff. But originally I was doing it for sheds and whatnot, and I did not think of pastures right off the top of my head. I'm like, oh, he's actually got a modded sheep pasture. And the open range one to boot. I do like the open range stuff. I was thinking about doing the open range for the cows, because we got plenty of room. Plenty of room. But I do like the looks of that, the barn itself. And let's face it, it's a lot cheaper. A lot cheaper than the base game one with the robot feeding the cows. And really, I don't, I kind of want to try the robot again. But since I really was using a automatic feeder in Griffin, Indiana, in Farming Simulator 19, I kind of want to get back to doing it manually a little bit. So I may go ahead and choose one of those. But first things first, now that we got the sheep kind of going, probably the next step might be putting down the fabric shop slash spinnery and then the tailor shop. But I mean, let's face it, it's going to be a while before we get enough, before we actually get some clothes around here. And besides, I got a lot of field work still left to do. Now, a few comments have been, you're going to get really busy in the future, so on and so forth. Don't forget, we can always change the amount of days that we do in a month. So right now, we're just doing 1 day equals a month. If we do get backlogged on some work, I could always go to 2 days per month, but really, running at 1 time the speed, I should be able to get all the work done needed. So I say, but, in the distant future, we could always go to more days per month if need be. And going more days per month also does not increase the production rate of the production buildings. The production buildings are based on how much they make per month. So if you play 28 days per month or 1 day per month, the building's going to make the same amount. So playing 28 days is not going to get you 28 times more than if you were to play for 1 day in the month. So by plowing the fields, what does that do for us? I still see comments on that on the older videos, not the more recent ones, but I realize some people are, new subscribers and catching up to the play series here. Yes, we don't need to plow the fields. The fields don't require plowing currently, but by plowing the fields, it keeps the weeds away for another year. And 2, we get the rocks, which we collect to go ahead and crush them to get lime. So that's why currently we plow the fields. And once again, in the distant future, when things get, more fields, more busy, am I going to plow the fields all the time? More than likely not. I mean, I'll probably get the Frank family doing most of it. Mr. and Mrs. Frank Jr. and Francine. We'll get some workers around here once the money is coming in faster than what I can spend it at. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the more I plow these fields, and this might be the 4th time we plowed this field now, compared to the first time, it seems like I'm getting fewer and fewer rocks, but I think that's my imagination toying at me with it. I guess if I went back and watched like the last couple times I plowed the field, I could always see how much rocks we got off the field. But you know what? I have that much time, and at this point, we just get off the field when we get off the field. But we definitely got to get some more rocks because the grass field needs lime, and the field down by the mill, that needs some lime also. So I want to get all these rocks picked up and produce into lime, because the next time we do the grass field, I want to spread some lime in that field. So the money that we're going to spend next, I probably need like another 20,000. The shed's like what, 12 grand? And of course, definitely got to do some landscaping around now the sheep, because that's going to annoy me quite a lot, having all those ridges and whatnot. So I need to smooth it on out. I probably should have smoothed it out before I placed it down, but it didn't look like it was that bad. I mean, just sitting here thinking about it now is already starting to irritate me. I may have to go back over before we end the episode and just terraform a little bit of it to see how it looks. I do got 11 grand, and I only need like 1,000 per day to cover the cost of the loan interest fees and the production cost and everything else. But I definitely got to make sure I leave myself enough cash, because I'm going to have to lease the stone picker. And what else am I going to need in the near future? Off the top of my head, I really can't think of much, other than buying seed and fertilizer to get these fields replanted for next season. I probably am going to stick with barley on these 3 fields, only because barley we can harvest a month sooner than the wheat. And I want to keep doing that because that allows me to make the flour sooner. And of course, the sooner the flour's made, bread pit can get going on making the bread. And we need to do it soon, because even last season, bread pit was still making bread when the high prices were here. And then of course, after we pay for the shed and landscaping fees, start saving up some cash for the fabric shop, and which is the spinnery and the tailor shop. But if other things come up that I could use on the farm, like the stone picker comes up for sale, or anything else like that matter, we'll buy those first, because like I said, the 8 sheep that we currently have are not going to produce that much wool right at the beginning to make it worth our while to go down and make fabric and clothing. Although after seeing the prices of the clothing, boy, it does make me think about, ooh, it would be nice to harvest some cotton, because we can make get a lot of liters of cotton to go ahead and make all the clothing that we need. And I can't remember from Elm Creek what the totals were, because we did have the tailor shop and the spinnery, so I can't remember the ratios of cotton and wool to make fabric, and fabric to make clothing. But after seeing the current price of clothing at $7,000, it's looking pretty darn good. It does make me want to maybe possibly plant some cotton. Now, the reason, like I said before, it gets kind of expensive doing cotton. I would have to lease a planter, which is not that big of a deal. But then we would have to lease I would definitely lease the case cotton harvester. But all I know is it's more than $22,000 to lease that, because I had $22,000, and yeah, I just said you don't have the money to lease that. So I don't know how much it is to lease the cotton module harvester, or what the hourly cost is going to be on that. And then of course I would have to also lease a trailer to transport the cotton bales. But other than that, yeah, it's not too bad. So, something to look into, but that'll be after we make sure we got the money for these buildings. There's no sense in getting all the cotton and not being able to make the clothing that we intend to be doing. Now, the one thing that still missed me a little bit about the cotton harvesters. So there's 2 cotton module harvesters for the base game, and that is the Case and the John Deere. The Case cotton module harvester goes for brand new $420,000, and the John Deere is like $850,000. And when you're looking at, okay, so what does the John Deere do over the Case that makes it $400,000 more? And other than it saying John Deere on the cotton module harvester, or on their harvester, there isn't much that it doesn't do anything more than what the Case does. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a moment, in case you're new to Farming Simulator. So this is one of the 4 fields that need to be done. I'll probably get a couple of these done. I may get them all done by next episode. Then we'll be down at the other oats field down by the mill and harvesting that and transferring it over. So if you go into the store page, so you need the special cotton module harvesters to harvest the cotton. And yeah, so here you go. Here is the Case Module Express. And then of course you got yourself the John Deere. So actually, so I got the pricing a little bit wrong. It's $485 for the Module Express, and we'll just say $850 for the CP690. Look at the stats. Yeah, the John Deere has more horsepower and holds more fuel. They both travel at 15 miles an hour. They both harvest at 6 miles an hour. Now the difference is in a couple of areas. So the Case, I believe, does square modules or rectangular modules, and they're at 20,000 liters apiece. The John Deere, if I remember, does round modules, and they're 10,000 liters apiece. The John Deere weighs more. Oh yeah, it shows it right here. So this is a square module, and the working width is 6 meters, and the John Deere is a round, I guess we call them bales, and the working width is 6 meters. So one doesn't work faster than the other. The working width is the same, but the pricing is just ridiculous. Yeah, so if I come in here and hit lease, it's just going to say, what are you talking about? You don't have enough money. I know it's over $20,000 to lease that, so that'll be the biggest expense on doing that. But really why I want to come in here, because I just want to go ahead and go into production, and I just want to double check on what the pricing is of the production buildings that we need. That's dairy, that's cereal, carpentry, that's the bakery, the spinnery is 60, and the tailor shop is 100. So we need $160,000 to put down the spinnery and the tailor shop. Yeah, so that's not too bad. 160. Another thing that'd be really great around here, I keep saying it, is another tractor. Just because, like I said, I can go down and harvest the oat field, but I need a tractor and a trailer to unload the combine, and I can have another tractor up here plowing the fields. But you know what? If you don't have the money, you don't have the money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go over here and park this T6 over here just for a moment. I definitely want to get the shed and landscaping around the sheep done before I do anything else. That's going to annoy the heck out of me. But the shed would be nice because, like I said, once you see how crowded it's getting in there when I have everything in there, and that's before we got the combine harvester. But the good news is when winter comes, hey, Ronnie the Rooster's trying to come back over here again. We got a good amount of eggs piling up. Bread's being made. We do have some silage to sell. I'm going to hold on to the silage as long as I can until this grass field's ready to be cut again, because the pricing in June, July is at its worst, and as we get closer to winter, the price goes up. So the longer I hold on to it, the more we'll get for it. So I don't want to spend a whole bunch of cash right now on landscaping here, but I do want to landscape this just a little bit. Hopefully I'm far enough away. Construction, landscaping. And I don't want level, I want to soften. And let's go ahead and let me get that up because I always forget the new keys here. Alright, so it is softening the ground around here. It's not doing it where that sheep is. I need that sheep to move. Yeah, so far it's not that expensive. Oops. Oh good, the sheep is moving. Is it because I'm standing there? That might be because I'm standing there. Alright, how about if I move away here? There we go. I don't want to level it. Now let's go back to softening up here. Alright, I think that looks good enough. Let's go to plants, and we just want grass around here. Wow, painting grass in is expensive than it was the landscape. What the heck, man? Alright. So still got a little bit of a hump there, but that's not too bad. But as for our tractor coming in, now it's much smoother to come up and give them the water. And of course our hay goes here. The wool's going to go here. And my guess is that's why I can't terraform here, because it needs to be flat. So, yeah, I'll have to fiddle with that a little bit more. But, you know, for a couple grand we just spent, I'm happy terraforming that a little bit around here. But that looks rather good. So say hello to our little friends. Yep, they're eating away. So hopefully their health goes up, and within the next day or so, we'll start getting some, well, I won't say pallets. We'll get a start of a pallet. Probably cut that tree out of here. You know what? Just because I do like seeing some different color around here. Let's go to... oh, trees. There we go. $1,500 for a tree. But at least I'll give them some shade around here if they want to do so, and it won't evaporate the water as much, or whatever. But anyways, there we go. We have now some sheep on the farm. Now I got to start thinking for the future of where I want to put the fabric shop and the tailoring shop. But you guys got that whole hill over here to play on, because I really didn't have many plans for it. I had some plans, but there's plenty of hills around here to do work out otherwise. Anyways, the rain's going to be coming. I'm probably going to go back and do some plowing, get that done. But probably next episode, we might be still in the month of July. We might be in the month of August. I don't know. We'll have to see. But, yep, next step for the farm. Save up a little bit of cash, $12,000, and put down ourselves a shed so we can start putting some things away and it'll make it easier access for them. The shed's going to go down. I should have plenty of room here. Let's have a quick look at what it will look like. Where is that shed? Right here. Well, that's a bigger shed than I thought it was. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room for that. Plenty of room. Plenty of room, just not plenty of cash. Alright, I need to get back to work before the rain gets here. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode. Like I said, I don't know what month it's going to be yet, but before I go, though, just in case I forgot to check, nope, nothing there. Nothing in the shop that's used that we could possibly use. Not like I got the cash. I don't know why I'm looking. That was stupid. Anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in No Man's Land. But until then, have a good one.